So this was at a press conference which he did around a few days back, in I think day before on Saturday, where he made the point that he was actually also talking in the context of the BBC documentary, and he said that if the BBC had remained silent, then perhaps this kind of an investigation would not have taken place at their offices in Delhi and Mumbai, and that also explains why big countries in Europe and America are largely silent over what's happening in India, because there's money concerned, there are trade ties, and their trade and monetary benefits which accrues to these countries, which is why they prefer to remain silent. Of course, as expected, the BJP is, of course, taking a huge objection to it. And it's a borderline comment on the foreign policy of India. We'll have to wait to see that when the parliament session begins on 13th of March, whether the BJP is actually going to make this a big issue and whether they're going to try and move a notice against Rahul Gandhi. Because when it comes to foreign policy issues, it's also a very nuanced and careful line which one has to take.
By the way, also Rahul also made a big claim that Jai Shankar, External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar, does not understand the threat by the
that our government simply does not allow any idea of the opposition to be discussed.
The so-called defenders of democracy, which are the United States, European countries, seem to just be oblivious. There are reasons for there not being a reaction. There is sort of trade and there is money and stuff like that. But Indian democracy is a public good.
मुझे लगता है अपनी नाकामियों को छिपाने के लिए एक सुनियोजित तरीके से विदेशी सरजमीन से राहुल गांधी जी ने भारत को बदनाम करने का ठेका ले रखा है।
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narasimhan. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, the Congress MP, has made a few statements. He has made a few claims. Has he backed them with facts? Has he shown the ability to lead the opposition's charge against Prime Minister Narendra Modi? Is his calling names or his allegations aimed at the current government or at the country? Is he right in seeking Western aid? Does he bring in the confidence? Or is it all coming up to a naught? There are many aspects to this, ladies and gentlemen. He is entitled to his opinion. But are there many who will agree with him, or are there more who will question him and the veracity of his claims? That's where the debate lies. And let's go straight into the debate. What we've endeavored to do is pick out 5 questions, and then we'll ask our panelists. There are only 2 of them. It's a straight face-off between the BJP and the Congress party, or supporter of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and of course those who are saying that he is up to no good. So the first question that we're asking tonight will be 5 questions. So we try and get the answers quickly from our panelists, from our guests, and then go to the next question. The first question is Rahul Gandhi echoing the narrative of India baiters? There is a group which is out to discredit India. Is Mr. Rahul Gandhi echoing their very voice? Let's go across to our guest, Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP, George Korean, political analyst with us. Namaste, Jai Hind to the lady and the gentleman. And we'll try and keep it one answer apiece because there are 5 questions, so we'll have to cover it all. So let me ask you, Sanju Verma, is Rahul Gandhi echoing the narrative of India baiters? Your thought process.
You know, Anand, the simple answer to that is, of course, Rahul Gandhi is not only, completely driven by India baiters, but the fact that he does not do any fact check, and I cannot call this ignorance or the fact that he's oblivious of what the ground realities are. I mean, the whole country and anybody who has a basic understanding of politics knows that the BBC, for instance, is accused of tax evasion in its own home country, the United Kingdom, to the tune of $8 million in 2017, $11 million in 2018, and about $12.3 million in 2019. And somebody like Bob Blackman, the UK MP from Harrow East, has said that the BBC view is not the view of the UK government, and BBC documentary on Modi is nothing but a shoddy piece of disgraceful propaganda This is a UK member of parliament saying BBC documentary is a shoddy piece of disgraceful propaganda. And Rahul Gandhi goes abroad and, he cites the tax rates on BBC and says, yahan to democracy khatre mein hai. What more do you want me to say?
Okay.
I mean, people can see through his charade.
Wait, I'll come to the facts part in just a bit, but this is also about the narrative. The question was about, is he echoing the narrative of those who want to discredit India
course,
or
yes.
India beaters? You say yes, and you're saying this is what is happening. So why backing them?
Yes.
George Kurianji, how would you want to respond?
Well, Anand, I really don't agree with the fact what you're trying to put it across, and to Sanju Verma. See, we have to understand that Rahul has been very vocal about learning to listen is the key to the 21st century as far as keeping a paradigm shift as far as politics is concerned. And he has also gone ahead and said that, India, as it, because see this public, he has spoken in public good, Indian democracy is in public good, and also gone on to say that at least 50% of the people who live in a democratic space live in India and believe in. So it's important for the independent institutions to be fair and in terms of for the actions and policies.
So he's not echoing anything that the India baiters sitting abroad have said, that the gang which is funded by or allegedly funded by Mr. George Soros, the gang that is sitting there and saying that India, this is what is bad with India, who are writing articles, who are sitting on forums, who want to dismantle the current entities because they are harmful to India. That kind of narrative, he is not echoing that at all. George Kurian.
Well, when not really. See, we have to understand that, I'm just failing to understand why the ruling dispensation is so scared and hell-bent and to the core that, they are making it probably it's becoming difficult for them to counter the allegations and statements that's coming from Rahul Gandhi. And we shouldn't actually bother them because he's speaking from his heart and is speaking what the current policies and actions that is happening on ground in India.
So you believe that what he is doing is he's saying
their statements are being
so your point of view is that it is his own view. It's not influenced by anybody. Nobody has written a script, or he's not following a script that a lot of people abroad sitting there are following.
Absolutely.
You're saying he has derived it based on his own conclusion. That's your point of view. Whether they agree with you or not, that's the viewer to decide. I'm not deciding that right now. Question number one. Second question. Let's quickly move on to the second question. Has Rahul Gandhi backed his claims with facts? Whatever he has said at Cambridge and whatever he has said last evening during their interaction, has he backed his claims with facts? George Kurian.
Well, I don't see any reason or need for Rahul Gandhi to back the claims with facts, because it is there in public domain for everyone to see, what post 2014, what has gone, the series of events that has taken shape in India, be it the independent institutions, be it the judiciary, the media, and things like that, the CBI, the Enforcement Directorate, Income Tax Department, and things like that. We have seen all the social engineering that has taken shape post 2014, and the complete silence from the ruling dispensation when it comes to rape and women's security and things like that. So this need not be elaborated with facts and figures. It's there for everyone to see in public domain.
What is there for? I couldn't see Pegasus on his phone because the investigators also could not see it because he never gave his phone. So has he backed it with fact? Is a nation with 1/5 of the world's population, when he says democracy is in danger, especially after the Congress has won Himachal Pradesh and that the NPP has won Meghalaya and the BJP has won Gujarat, how is there democracy that is in danger? I'm just asking, a lot of claims that Mr. Rahul Gandhi has made, can he substantiate it with facts? So I'll park these questions aside. Sanju Verma ji, respond.
Thank you, Anandji. Let me come straight to the point. He first said that, his phone has been hacked and under surveillance. And as you rightly pointed out, as recently as August 2022, the ex-Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Mr. N.V. Ramana, is on record. It is a statement in public domain that 29 phones were submitted, and monitored by the Supreme Court appointed committee. And while 5 phones were found to have some kind of malware, there was no trace of Pegasus on any of these 29 phones that were duly investigated. So the Pegasus narrative is completely a damp squib, point number one. And very quickly, in 20 seconds, I'll tell you. Democracy khatre mein kab aayi? Democracy khatre mein aayi in 1951 when Rahul Gandhi's great-grandfather Jawaharlal Nehru passed the First Amendment. Democracy khatre mein aayi in 1975 when his grandmother Indira Gandhi imposed emergency. Democracy khatre mein aayi in 1976 when Indira Gandhi imposed the 42nd Amendment upon us and limited the power of judicial review of the courts.
I have only one request. There is a lot that's happened in the past which we can continue to chronicle and continue to highlight. Let's try and keep it to the present, because Mr. Rahul Gandhi has kept it to the present, the current disposition that is led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So we will keep it here, and then in the contours of this we can ask the questions and try and keep it as much as we can to this one, because if we go back to the past there is so much more that it will be a longer discussion. Let's come to the other aspect, what the BJP has alleged. Has Rahul Gandhi overseas criticized the Modi Sarkar and its policies, or has he defamed Bharat? Are both one and the same, or can criticizing a government be appropriated to criticizing a country, or are both very different? Sanju Verma ji.
Thank you. Anand ji, tell me one thing. If you say that the Modi government is autocratic, I can still understand that that is criticism of the reigning dispensation. But when you say that democracy is finished, there is no democracy in India despite the fact that we are the largest democracy in the world with a population of 1.4 billion. Every sixth person in the world is an Indian. Just in flat 18 months, we vaccinated our entire adult population in a classic textbook case of vaccine maitri across the world. We have been lauded by the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. We've been lauded for our digital and social infrastructure by Bill Gates. We've been lauded by Bob Sternfeld, the head of McKinsey, saying the next 100 years belong to India, not just the next 10 years. And Rahul Gandhi is making a generic statement saying democracy is finished. That is maligning India. That is not simply maligning the ruling dispensation. And he called the Pulwama terror attack what? He said it was a car bomb attack, making mockery of the 40 Pulwama martyrs who lost their lives while on duty. Is that not maligning the nation?
Okay. George Kurian, respond.
Well, I don't quite agree to Sanju Verma out here. And as you said, Rahul Gandhi is not trying to the nation, it's on a broader perspective. What he's trying to put it across to the audience is that there's a lot of suppression of voice across India, and he also goes on to say that the opposition is no longer just fighting the political fight. It is fighting the independent institution that is supposed to be doing and serving the purpose of the people and taking care of the interest of the people of India. And today the situation is that BJP and the RSS have total control about all the institutions that is independent in nature.
Can you prove this, sir? Can you prove this? Can you prove this? You are making a sweeping statement where you are saying that our courts are colored, our courts are prejudiced. You are saying our CBI is prejudiced. You are saying the ED is prejudiced. Is anybody and everybody into the pockets of the RSS and the BJP there? Are you trying to say that every single democratic institution or constitutional entity is currently compromised by the RSS? And can you prove that claim? You are making a sweeping statement on the integrity of a few hundred people sitting in these places in high offices.
Well, Anand, see, the fact remains that the way the actions and policies into post 2014 has taken shape, one can make out the way it is moving ahead.
No, sir. That is a supposition and a circumstantial surmise that you make. Are you going to? Then what you are saying is slander and defamatory, Mr. George Kurian. And if Mr. Rahul Gandhi is also basing it based on what he thinks is happening without any onus of proof, then it's slanderous and defamatory. Can you make a sweeping statement? Are you trying to say that the collegium of judges in the Supreme Court are all in the hands or in the pockets of the RSS and the BJP? Because you just said constitutional entities and pillars today are all compromised. Can you make that statement, sir? Is that not hurting? Is that hurting the current criticizing the current government, or is that hurting the pillars of our own democracy, our own country?
with the actions post 2014 that has taken shape, it is very quite evident.
Actions of who, sir?
That one can.
Actions of who, sir?
With all the policies and actions.
Whose policies, sir?
Actions from the
if they have absolute numbers in Parliament, doesn't the legislature have the right to pass law? And doesn't the administrative and the judiciary, the executive, can you all broad brush them? And is that being responsible, George Kurianji? I'm asking a simple question there. Is that being responsible or not? Or is that being brazenly irresponsible? Secondly, sir, was it under this government or under the previous disposition in which the institutions like the CBI were called a caged parrot? So isn't it quite rich coming from Mr. Rahul Gandhi when itself the record has been quite checkered? Now, moving on to the next question.
May I come in?
I'll park it there, ma'am, because we've got two more questions and then we'll take the overall. It's all reading to one aspect and I'll get your thoughts, Sanjuji. Does Rahul Gandhi display the ability to lead the opposition in 2024? Because it's all building up to that. Does he display the ability to lead the opposition and a counter narrative against Prime Minister Narendra Modi? George Kurianji.
Well, I'm confident that Rahul Gandhi is capable enough and has all the ability of the leadership qualities that he has within him to lead a united opposition in 2024, and it goes without saying. And I'm sure that the united opposition will consider him and the Congress party to lead because it has a national footprint. And it believes in learning to listen with the attitude and a progressive development agenda that it will carry in 2024.
If it is learning to listen, then has it not got the message already that the opposition believes that the Congress will play a role but is not the fulcrum? That's been repeated oftentimes by the opposition. So who is willing to listen and who is not willing to listen? Question remains. Yes, Sanju Verma ji.
Okay. Thank you. Anand, since you, for lack of time, did not give me a chance to rebut to his previous rebuttal and this one, I'll very quickly just say that institutions are not under any form of attack. Recently, the Supreme Court said that the election commissioners will be decided by a three-member committee, including the Prime Minister, the Leader of the Opposition and the Chief Justice. And I don't think anyone from the BJP is up in arms saying, oh, democracy khatre mein hai. We have taken the court's verdict on this in our stride. And I just want to remind people who are saying that, the judiciary is sold out to the highest bidder, referring to the Narendra Modi government in this case, when Justice Chandrachud, he is the CJI today, he said during the Aadhaar judgment that right to privacy is a fundamental right, and the Aadhaar judgment was not exactly in the ruling dispensation's favor. We did not complain. In the Bhima Koregaon case, Justice Chandrachud was the only dissenting voice. And he said that, these 5 activists have the right to give their opinion, and opinion giving is not equal to defamation. We did not complain. We fought the Bhima Koregaon case in the court. So do not teach us political credibility and political morality because the Congress has none today. I just want to say very quickly this. Rahul Gandhi cannot be the face of the opposition, and I will give you just one simple answer. They may say Bharat Jodo Yatra was not a political yatra, but did Akhilesh Yadav join the Bharat Jodo Yatra? No. Did Tejasvi Yadav join the Bharat Jodo Yatra? No. Did Mamata Banerjee join the Bharat Jodo Yatra? No. Omar Abdullah may have joined, but did you see Farooq Abdullah lauding the Bharat Jodo Yatra? No. So the fact is, even KCR from Telangana, did he applaud the Bharat Jodo Yatra? No. So the fact is that the Bharat Jodo Yatra is a textbook case of how the key opposition parties, particularly the Samajwadi Party under Akhilesh Yadav, Mamata Banerjee's DMC and RJD's Tejasvi Yadav have said to Rahul Gandhi, "Humko aapke leadership ki zarurat nahi hai."
My final question. They are saying leadership ki zarurat nahi hai, support ki zarurat hai, but you are not playing the pivotal role. Now, you cannot say that history will repeat itself, but the result will be different. That's the biggest mistake that anybody can make. We know what happened in 2019. In the meantime, final question. Does Mr. Rahul Gandhi, when he is making these statements and utterances on foreign soil and also across the country, does he have a better plan for Bharat than Prime Minister Narendra Modi? If so, so far has he been even able to delineate it or outline it? George Kurian, does he have a better plan for Bharat than PM Modi?
Well, definitely yes, and it goes without saying that Rahul Gandhi has a proper plan in place, and I'm sure that Congress will have broader perspective and a progressive manifesto in place for 2024, and it will make an attempt to bring all the opposition parties together on one forum. And
if the plan is to defeat the BJP and PM Modi, that's not a plan for the country. That's a plan for a political party and the survival of some political entities. I am asking, what's the plan for my country?
Giving relief to the 130 crores people of India, and as far as employment is concerned, inflation is concerned, national security is concerned, so all this will be taken care of, so that it would be there in the manifesto. So we are ready to take on.
One minute. Let him complete, and then I'll give you your time to complete, Sanju Vermaji. These three, what you said right now, our national security experts say has never been as robust in the last 7 to 9 years. The rise of Bharat is the story that everybody is talking about. The amount of EPFOs accounts that have been created and regularized, and people being brought through, connected through digital infrastructure has been the largest ever possible in the last 4 years, out of the last 9 years. So, how is that going to be better than Prime Minister Narendra Modi and what he has done is the question. Do you have a better story, narrative and a plan than PM Narendra Modi? We need a concrete answer on that. Have we found it? I'll leave the jury out there. Yes, Sanju Verma. Does Mr. Rahul Gandhi have a better plan?
Anand, I personally believe that if you cannot love your country, if you cannot love your army men, your brave hearts, then you have no business helming the affairs of this country. And Rahul Gandhi recently, when there was that provocation from the Chinese side in the Tawang sector, despite the defense minister, despite the external affairs minister, and despite Amit Shah, the home minister, clearly saying that there was provocation, but not an inch of land was usurped, and we responded with a firm hand. What did Rahul Gandhi say? चीन की सेना अंदर घुसकर उन्होंने हमारी सेना की खूब पिटाई की. A man who has zero respect for our armed forces has no business being the next prime minister. He can continue to see मुंगेरी लाल के हसीन सपने, मुंगेरी लाल के हसीन सपने देखना उनका हक बनता है.
Right. So that's what. But can Mr. Rahul Gandhi still have a difference of opinion on what actually happened in Galwan, what actually happened transpired at that point in time, and has it been the slip between the cup and the lip in the matter of articulation? So criticizing the government cannot be equated to criticizing the country. That's one aspect. But in trying to criticize the government, if you end up criticizing the country, then who's at fault? Is that an issue of articulation then? We need a clear plan. We need the better alternative. If you are indeed the better alternative, do you have a better plan? That's what's important till then. And of course, back your claims with facts, please. That's something which is an argument which is made for both sides, the BJP and of course the opposition. Thank you very much. It's been short and sharp, but we'll try and do this again very, very soon. Sanju Verma ji and George Kurian ji, thank you very much. Moving on here on the right stand, ladies and gentlemen, quickly, the Yogi government's crackdown on mafia continues in Uttar Pradesh. Today, Vijay Kumar alias Usman Chaudhary, another assailant in the Umesh Pal murder case, was gunned down by the cops. He's the one who first fired the first bullet, and he's caught on CCTV. Usman, who took the first shot at Umesh Pal, caught on CCTV holding a polythene bag and firing at Umesh Pal and his bodyguard. He was one of the 6 shooters who pumped bullets into Umesh Pal, a key witness in the 2005 murder of Bahujan Samaj Party legislator Raju Pal on the 24th of February. So where does the crackdown on the mafia stand? While at least 6 to 7 accused in the murder case are absconding, the state has bulldozed 3 of Atiq's aides' house, Safdar Ali, Maqsuddin and of course Khalid Zafar from between March 1st and March 3rd. Also, one after the other, this has happened. 2 accused, Arbaz and Usman, have been killed. Interestingly, Usman was Vijay Chaudhary. He converted to Islam as he joined Atiq Ahmed's gang. That's what happened. And then henceforth was known as Usman Chaudhary. Both have been killed. One on the 27th of March, one on the 6th of March, respectively. So the Umesh Pal murder plot, Atiq Ahmed, the mastermind, he's currently in a Gujarat jail. Atiq's brother Ashraf, he was the one who hatched the plot. Message was sent to Ashraf. Ashraf is lodged in a Bareilly jail. He makes a call to Sadakat Khan. The assailants met at his hostel, and Atiq's son, Asad, executed the murder plan. Asad was tasked and he was the one who plotted how the execution will happen. And but the message, that's the allegation, was relayed via Atiq Ahmed. There is also the land angle which has now surfaced along with the fact that he was one of the key witnesses. The co-conspirators, Nafiz Ahmed, who owns the Creta car that was used as the getaway vehicle, arrested. Usman killed in encounter, Arbaz killed in encounter, Guddu Muslim absconding, Mohammad Ghulam absconding, Sabir is absconding, Arman is absconding. So are 7 others who were present there as backup, as recce. They have not yet been named. Last we spoke and there were indications that Asad has been seen somewhere around the Nepal border. He's constantly trying to move between Bihar, Bengal and of course the Nepal borders. Usman had gone to Madhya Pradesh and came back to his village, and that's when the cops got tipped off and they counted him just about 5 kilometers from his village. That's what we're given to understand. Quickly moving on to Tamil Nadu, where the showdown continues over the targeting of labour coming in from other parts of the country, especially the Hindi belt or north of the Vindhyas. How did the row escalate? Videos of migrants being attacked emerged on social media. Bihar Chief Minister expressed concern over the viral videos. TNDGP clarified, saying most of the videos were fake and mischievous. Annamalai, the TNBJP chief, blamed the DMK for the exodus of migrants from the state. Tamil Nadu CM M.K. Stalin issued a statement promising action. Nitish Kumar sent a 4-member team to Tamil Nadu to probe the matter. Bihar team satisfied with the Tamil Nadu government over safety of migrants. Case filed against Annamalai for promoting enmity. Annamalai daring the cops to arrest him within 24 hours. On the one hand, the DMK claims to have provided safe space for migrants in Tamil Nadu, but the reality is DMK leaders themselves, including Chief Minister Stalin, have made offensive remarks against North Indians and Hindi speakers. Although they claim their opposition has been to the imposition of Hindi into the state of Tamil Nadu, this is what has been said. In a blatant anti-North hate speech, Tamil Nadu's Revenue Minister P. Murthy advised Tamil traders to get rid of North Indian traders. June 2022, DMK spokesperson TK Alangovan said that Hindi is the language of underdeveloped states and will make them Shudras. May 2022, Tamil Nadu Education Minister K. Ponmudi said Hindi speakers are selling pani puris and doing menial jobs in Tamil Nadu. July 2021, DMK Minister K.N. Nehru called Biharis less brainy, but at the same time also accused them of snatching away jobs from Tamilians. March 2021, MK Stalin accused BJP of conspiring to give jobs to Hindi speakers in state and get votes. We caught up with the TN BJP chief, K. Annamalai, earlier in the day. Listen in. Annamalai ji, namaste. Thank you very much for speaking with us here at CNN News 18. My first question to you.
Vanakkam sir, namaste sir.
You have been accused of fear-mongering. An FIR has been registered against you. How would you want to respond?
Sir, after I joined the political party, our Bharatiya Janata Party, in the last 20 odd months, this is my 87th FIR in Tamil Nadu. Normally, this 86 FIRs till now are of various sections for violating something. This is the first time they have booked some serious offences. That too for a statement I have released condemning the DMK government for fueling hatred in Tamil Nadu for the last 70 years. And I have given a very point-by-point rebuttal of what DMK person has spoken at which point of time. Some senior DMK ministers have called our North Indian friends as Pani Puri Wala. They are fit to work only in roadside. They can only come and wash utensils here. And more importantly, they have said, illiterate people, Gomutra gang. This is the kind of language used by DMK leaders, MPs, ministers over the last 1 year in Tamil Nadu. In fact, the current Chief Minister, Sri M.K. Stalin, when he was the opposition leader, he has mentioned a lot of North Indians coming inside Tamil Nadu and thereby they will become BJP voters. They should be stopped. So I issued a statement based on which the police have said, no, you have issued very false statements trying to create fear. We are going to book a case. So booking case is nothing new against us. The only thing is, at least this phase has shown the whole of India what DMK party is all about. Why this kind of situation started happening in Tamil Nadu in the first place. Tamil Nadu is a safe place. We welcome everybody. We don't discriminate anybody. And the great Kaniyan Pugundranar Yadu More Yadurun Kelly, we believe the world is one. But DMK doesn't believe in that. DMK was fueling hate mongering, fear mongering, all those things over the last many years, especially in the last 10 years when they are in the opposition. But booking a case against me, I believe, is the biggest joke. What DMK can do after they have come to power, sir.
Well, Mr. Annamalai, senior DMK leader Mr. Ilangovan has come out and said, who said we are arresting Annamalai? Why is he claiming that? And secondly, they've said that the DMK has only opposed Hindi imposition. They have never had a problem with people coming from other parts of the country into Tamil Nadu and plying their wares there.
I will answer it, sir. One, if you don't want to arrest me, don't they think this FIR is simply a piece of paper some two fellows will type it in a police station and put it? These are all very serious offences, not a very normal 1 year, 2 year punishment kind of thing. I told them, look, if you have the guts, if you have the courage, you touch me as a common man, because people will know that you are doing very wrong politics by booking a case against somebody who is speaking truth to power. Now, from yesterday, DMK is going in the back foot saying, no, we will issue a summon, we will take his explanation. Then why did you book a FIR in the first place, sir? Then why did you book serious cases, sections in the FIR? They think it is just a joke. Now, after the whole of Tamil Nadu was revolted, the DMK government is in the fact foot. So, number one, still I am challenging them. If you still believe as a government you have to survive, you show the might, you show the police power. Why are you simply booking an FIR against me and running away now? Secondly, sir, I've released a video in my Twitter and social media yesterday, a compilation of what DMK leaders have spoken, especially in the last 6 months to 1 year, the ministers in stages, MPs. And sir, you cannot have any guest. It's the Vasudeva Kudupaka. You can't have a guest in Tamil Nadu and insult him. People are not, anybody coming from North India is not coming here for earning 200 rupees or 300 rupees or 400 rupees. He should believe he or she that is an integral part of Tamil Nadu and is helping Tamil Nadu to grow, India to grow. That is a welcome attitude. In Tamil Nadu, it is not like that. We all welcome everybody at the ground level. But DMK is like every single opportunity, they find an opportunity to hit back, find an opportunity to target, create this North-South, Aryan divide, Sanskrit Tamil. That manifestation, of course, sir, of course. There is a fake video which got circulated.
Yes.
I was the first person to condemn it. Don't believe in that fake video. Tamil people are not like that. But why did people believe in that fake video, sir? Because 15 days back, in the train, some people have assaulted a North Indian laborer who were there inside. And that video became viral. Then the railway police booked an FIR, arrested them. So it is true, there was an original video which was circulating. After 10 days, some other state video got circulated, which people tend to believe because of the history of Tamil Nadu, because of the history of DMK. How can DMK deny that he didn't speak anything in the last 70 years, sir?
But Annamalai, here the aspect is that a lot of the videos have now come out as fake. Two groups, one from Jharkhand, one from Bihar, having an argument in a bus has been misrepresented. Some instance which has got nothing to do with hate mongering because it's a Tamil versus North India scenario has also done the rounds. The allegation is, yes, there may be instances and you may be right in your point of view that politically the DMK has taken a position variant to what it claims. But does that mean that you could broad brush every instance? Could you broad brush the entire party and the government also as somebody that hates anybody who comes from the north of India? There are reports saying that a lot of people, a lot of the migrant labor are actually going back for Holi. Now, should that be seen as people living in fear?
Sir, if you had happened to read my yesterday's press release based on which the FIR was filed.
I saw it.
And the press release have very categorically said, sir, that Tamil Nadu is safe. Don't believe in rumor mongering. The government is with you, police is with you, we are with you. Don't believe in circulated fake videos for somebody's political gain. This is the crux of my statement. Then we are talking of an atmosphere so that we have an opportunity after 70 years to course correct where our politics is heading. So that is what I have been continuously emphasizing since I came into politics. And even now, as Tamil Nadu BJP president, don't use North-South divide, which will go out of control. Luckily, parties like BJP and many other parties, we stood with government for the last 1 week. As we speak now, sir, our BJP leaders are in Coimbatore, Tirupur and Chennai, visiting all the migrant laborers in their hostel rooms, camps, meeting North Indian leaders, talking to them, giving them confidence along with industry leaders. But having said it, many North Indian friends have also complained the atmosphere is not tolerable. The atmosphere that is created by the political parties, the kind of language they use, it is not tolerable.
The DMK claims and under the current disposition, Tamil Nadu is still continuing to grow. Largely, people in Tamil Nadu are safe. Can a few instances be broad brush saying that the DMK is hate mongering and its leadership is anybody who is north of the Vindhyas. Can we say that? And is it responsible on the part of the BJP if it is fanning the fires or fueling the flames?
So I agree with you, sir. Tamil Nadu is perfectly safe. As a Tamilian, you know it, and we welcome everybody. Tamil Nadu always had this huge disconnect between politics and society. Society was thinking in some other way, the politics were happening in some other way. So there was an impression that was happening in the rest of India that Tamil Nadu is anti-North and anti-this and anti-that. Now this kind of opportunity is bringing politics and society closer. That is how I see, sir. But having said it, we have to call a spade sometimes, because it is giving an opportunity for DMK to understand, no, things will go out of control. In this age of social media, when somebody makes a stupid statement against any North Indian brother or sister, it goes out of control. Bangalore, it happened against the Northeast Friends. Huge exodus had happened, and a lot of things have happened there. So Tamil Nadu, it's an opportunity for all politicians to understand. Let us leave this narrative once for all. North-South, let us get into developmental politics. I am willing to challenge DMK and development politics, and we can talk about development. But if you look at the last 2 years after coming to power, it is always North-South, always Tamil Nadu, always Tamil language under threat.
Power at the center. Nationalism has always been a wicket on which the BJP has attacked the Congress party. So the entire comments of Rahul Gandhi are going to be whipped up as being anti-national, downgrading the dignity of your country abroad, when many countries abroad are actually acknowledging India's rise as one of the important players on the global stage.
Absolutely, Pallavi. Now, the BJP is also claiming that Rahul Gandhi is seeking foreign intervention in India's democracy, that too in the 75th year of independence, when India is celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and that too on the British soil.
Yes. And this has been a kind of, according to BJP, Rahul Gandhi actually has been a habitual offender. I mean, if you just step back to 2008, 9, and even much later, 11 onwards, where he actually compared in one instance in Germany to the BJP and RSS to Muslim Brotherhood, there was a huge uproar even then, because the BJP says you are comparing ourselves to a terrorist organization, and we are very much in power at the center. So what you're also doing is you're insulting the Indians and the voters who have voted for us. Whenever he's gone abroad, he's made the point that how democracy has been compromised in a country. We are made to look like an autocratic country, according to the BJP. Rahul Gandhi's comments that, Parliament does not allow us to speak, mics are switched off. It's all very well when you make that point over here back home in India, according to the BJP. But when you go abroad, as a politician, you're also representing your country. So why are you making a comment which is going to embolden our opponents across the border, for example, Pakistan?
All right, Pallavi, we have BJP's Anila Singh joining us on this story. So Rahul Gandhi has sought intervention from the US and Britain to restore Indian democracy. What's your take on this?
My Ram Ram to everyone, and I'm not at all surprised. This is one political party, and especially if I talk this particular family, they have always taken shelter, support of bodies or powers across our borders. So the formation of this political party was with the help of the Britishers. So every time when they are not able to handle themselves anything, they try to take support from the international power forces. We saw and we are seeing the international toolkits working against Narendra Modi ji. Now this person who did Bharat Jodo Yatra, but he is standing on foreign land and he is expressing as if India is broken in many pieces, and it is all because of the present government. So what you are doing, are people electing you in parliament or in the assembly? So you are failed as a leader. Your political party is failed as a main opposition force in our country, and your failures are not going to be defined on the foreign land as the failure of present government. So Narendra Modi ji is a one prime minister, a leader who is so popular not only in our country but across our borders as well. Perhaps that is why this person is so rattled. He is not checking facts on himself and his political party.
Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has once again targeted the central government while addressing the Indian diaspora in London. The Congress MP said that it is very strange that an Indian political leader can give lectures at Cambridge and Harvard, but not in an Indian university. He further attacked the Narendra Modi-led government of not allowing any concept of opposition in the country, adding that the leaders are not even allowed to speak in the parliament. Rahul Gandhi has also sought foreign intervention to restore democracy in India. Now, the BJP has hit back at Rahul Gandhi, saying that Rahul has crossed every limit to defame India in Britain.
How would you react if something, a structure 3.5 times Europe suddenly went non-democratic? But there's no reaction. And if we're talking about Europe, that's the thing that shocks me. And of course, there are reasons for there not being a reaction. There is sort of trade and there is money and stuff like that. But Indian democracy is a public good. So the surprising thing is that the so-called defenders of democracy, which are the United States, European countries, seem to just be oblivious.
If you noticed a statement of the foreign
Back on the right stand with the latest, ladies and gentlemen. Days after Amritpal and his men laid siege to the Amritsar police station, sources tell your channel that Amritpal Singh has been directed to lie low. It's a right stand exclusive. He's been asked to lie low by his handlers in Pakistan. Sources say that Pak handlers of Amritpal Singh have asked him to maintain a low profile, especially after the Ajnala incident. Sources say he's keeping himself busy with social work. Even top Sikh leadership is upset with Amritpal Singh's use of the Guru Granth Sahib. Sikh leadership feels that the arrest of close aide of Amritpal Singh was a personal fight, and taking the Guru Granth Sahib in a palki or palki sahib was absolutely wrong and against Sikhi itself. The group that is against Amritpal says that taking the Swaroop of Guru Granth Sahib to the Ajnala police station was a wrong idea, and that they appreciate the police for not using water cannons and lathi charge, showing utmost respect to the Palki Sahib. Top Sikh leadership feels Khalistan movement is going into the wrong hands, and that there is a infighting that is going on. CNN News18 has earlier reported about the tension between different Jathebandis on taking Guru Granth Sahib to Ajnala. On 27th of February, Akal Takht had constituted a committee to probe the validity of taking the Guru Granth Sahib to the Ajnala police station. The report is expected in the next 10 days. Shifting focus here on the right stand to the Imran Khan case and the PTI funding case. Let's try and understand this, because Imran Khan is in a spot of bother. The non-bailable warrant against him has been upheld. How did this entire case begin? Ex-PTI member filed this plea with the Election Commission back in 2014. The member had alleged irregularities in party funds. Money received from foreign nations was the allegation, and the alleged money came via illegal sources. The Election Commission of Pakistan set up a panel, and the ECP formed a scrutiny committee. The panel submitted its final report in 2020. The PTI informed about 12 bank accounts. The PTI hid information about 53 bank accounts. Donations of 32 million had not been disclosed. The Election Commission of Pakistan sought a report, and the ECP declared PTI had received prohibited funds. A show-cause notice had been issued, and the ECP has sought answers. Now, why the funds should not be confiscated is a question that was also asked. Then, there are multiple cases in this matter. So, Imran Khan is facing non-bailable warrants. Another matter is the Tosha Khana case. So, what is Tosha Khana? Tosha Khana is a government department under the Cabinet Division. The state depository keeps gifts given to Pak officials. Only the President and the Prime Minister are actually exempt from receiving such gifts. So what's the charge? Now the condition is that if a gift costs less than 30,000 rupees, the President or Prime Minister can keep the gifts. Anything above that money, when I say 30,000 rupees, it's Pakistani rupees. Anything more expensive, the gifts must be kept in the Tosha Khana by law in Pakistan. So now what has happened? Rolex watches worth 5.3 million Pakistani rupees. A Graf watch from the Saudi Crown Prince worth 85 million Pakistani rupees. Cufflinks worth 5.67 million Pakistani rupees. A pen worth 1.5 million Pakistani rupees. A ring worth 8.7 million Pakistani rupees. All of these, the allegation is, have been sold by Imran Khan. He's taken it out of the Tosha Khana, sold it and pocketed the riches, the money. That's the allegation. So two very serious cases on which Imran Khan now finds his non-bailable warrants upheld. Now there was huge tamasha outside Imran Khan's residence through last evening, late last night, through the day, where thousands of his followers came out and surrounded and virtually made it a fort which the police just could not impregnate or get in. The police said, we didn't go there to arrest him, we went to serve him a notice, but they had to go back given the sea of humanity that was there, the support that Imran Khan had drummed up. Reports also suggest, and News18 has learned, that Imran Khan actually quietly gave the cops a slip and got out of that house to try and avoid arrest. He moved the Lahore High Court, trying to seek pre-arrest bail or anticipatory bail. But so far it has not helped his cause. The cops so far have said, we are not there with the intent to arrest him, but we just want to serve a notice to him. But many believe it's just a matter of time. It is just a matter of time that Imran Khan will have to now be arrested. And if he's arrested, there is going to be a big tailspin and of course huge political turmoil. Huge political turmoil that will happen. So that's the case of Pakistan and Imran Khan. There continues to be trouble for him. Let's focus on Bharat, ladies and gentlemen. On the 8th of March, which is not just International Women's Day, but also the day of Holi, we'll bring to you a very, very special conversation that we recorded with Acharya Vamdeva Shastri, or known as David Frawley, and of course Pandit Satish Sharma, British scholar. Both of them were with us in our studios, a very rare occasion, and we had a straightforward conversation on their view of Bharat, our civilizational growth, the rise of Naya Bharat, and of course the challenges that are faced in the face of narratives against Hindutva, of course the caste dynamics, the city council resolution that has been passed in Seattle, its repercussions, and those who are baiting the country, who do not want Bharat to rise and shine. And of course the impact of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his leadership. All these aspects were covered. We wanted to hold back the telecast of this till Wednesday, the 8th of March, but we couldn't resist. When you have a Gyani and a Guni in studio and they are giving us pearls of wisdom and it's an engaging conversation, we thought we'd put out a short excerpt. So here's a very, very short excerpt from that half an hour long conversation. Have a look. There is a concept called Sangat in Bharatiya Parampara, and how we would say, that is, you get in the company of. And it's not often that you are able to get in the company of people who know, not just knowledge, but also are wise. So today we have an Acharya and a Panditji. Both are names who need no introduction, but with whom speaking about Bharat, Bharatiyata and the message to the world is going to be an engaging conversation that I am looking forward to. So Acharya David Frawley ji and Pandit Satish Sharma ji, namaste, and thank you very, very much for your time. I think this is like a photo moment for me, and that's so one more tick of the bucket list for being able to do this. I've been wanting to meet you for a long time, and it's a pleasure to speak with you. Let me ask you and start with you. What is the perception of Bharat in the West?
The perception of Bharat is actually at two levels. One, there's of course the old magic, mystery, mysticism, spiritual knowledge, yoga, Vedanta, that is there. And then there is still the shadow of the old colonial, backward, superstitious, or socially not progressive. So two very opposite views are there. But there is definitely a penetration of the Bharatiya civilization into the West, and also connecting to the nature, the healing, a kind of a way beyond just the media or the academia, whereas the academia has a kind of negativity. But say, for example, Yogananda's autobiography of a yogi sells over 5 million copies, and most of these academics, nobody knows their name.
That's interesting. But we also see a narrative which says Hindutva is fascist.
Yes.
Modi is championing a brand of Hindutva which is like Hitler pushing Nazism. Do you agree, disagree that this is on the rise? Or is it a smaller section of the West?
Well, it is a smaller section, but it's name-calling. You know, it's not any type of a critique. For example, take Modi. He's a champion of ecology. He's helping the poor. He's doing so many things that are not connected to the so-called fascist. And we have this rising duality in the West, including the internal conflicts and the tendency to want to demonize one side or the other. So India is being caught a little bit in that particular narrative, even though it is outside of it. And unfortunately, the narratives that have come up in India, like the Marxist influence, then cast its shadow on the Indians in the West. So we need to really look deeply at the problem, but India is rising, Indic traditions are rising.
In Europe, is this again a problem? The way Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his leadership, is the political messaging now overshadowing what Bharat stands for? Your thoughts.
Thank you. And Anandji, I'd just like to show everybody how indebted I am to you for having brought me into the presence of one of my heroes and a person who I've been appreciating from a long, long way.
So we've got a fan club going here.
Absolutely, absolutely. And normally in the company of Acharyaji, I'd be happy to just sit and listen.
Yes.
And so I'm going to sort of disturb the air with my crude words.
And please feel free to ask questions of him. So,
Perfect, thank you, thank you. You mentioned Raisina. I spotted something at the dialogues, and that was I spotted an East European voice. The voice that the world has heard so far from Europe has been the West European voice. And yet there in numbers and new voices, leaders who we've not seen, they were standing and sitting on platforms in a framework created by India, openly discussing their problems. And the old voice of Western Europe was actually relegated to the sidelines. Tony Blair, I think, passed through and wasn't given any particular significance. There was more significance given to the new voice of rising Italy. The Croatian speakers did a wonderful, wonderful contribution, and they all expressed openly, we would love to embrace this new India. We want to be part of the positivity, the dynamism, the resurgence that is readily apparent. So I think in Europe we're going to see this increasing. We're going to see the Eastern European voice start to lead where the Western European voice sadly begins to falter, begins to crumble, and has difficulty finding its feet again as the old colonialist ideologies start to crash and implode. And so Europe has hope, but I think the centre has shifted now towards the east. Croatia, the Hungarians were there, and it was lovely to be in touch with those people. The other thing I noticed was the presence of a lot more European leaders who were women. And that was a very positive energy. There was an openness to acknowledging problems and looking for a practical solution, as mothers, are known for doing. And that was another very positive thing.
Of course, the criticism of the Indians for so long is they're poor, superstitious, uneducated, and now we're being criticized for having too much money, too much education, too much political power. But you can see how the anti-India, anti-Hindu narrative has reinvented itself when you have India's success. And yet most of the, you might say, transformative aspects, whether it's ecology, whether it's mind-body medicine, whether it is this understanding of universal consciousness and recognition of the value of native traditions, is coming out of India.
Is it now going to be a period where those who are Hindu are going to be facing more attacks? We saw what happened in Leicester. We see a narrative being pushed. Hindutva forces coming in from India, coming to live here, bringing their brand of Hindus. All of these terms are being pushed out. We see what's happening in Australia.
I think there's a bit of good news, but it's also a little bit worrying. It's been a shock as to how quickly a nation which is known and trumpets itself as being the custodian of equality, the beauty of the Constitution, the way in which the founding fathers enshrined so many wonderful ideas to prevent power being grabbed by a few, all of that seems to have evaporated within the space of maybe even 6 months. And we've seen how quickly authorities, persons in positions of power, how quickly they are happy to discard the need for evidence, how happy they are to discard the need for a theatre within which both parties can sit and talk and exchange and maybe come to an understanding, and how quick they were to embrace the notion that actually these Hindus, whose profile in terms of a community is the complete antithesis of what they're being represented at, and yet they embraced it and rushed to deliver an ordinance. So for me, this has highlighted that the powers, those in influence, those who are boards, those who are running councils and Congress and Senate, that minority is actually very easily swayed. An appeal to emotion, an appeal to virtue signaling, an appeal to that feeling of being a pious person who is doing good, the old saviour mentality. All of those personalities seem to be running rampant at the level of authority and decision making. But I get a great deal of confidence from the levels underneath. You know, in our Sanatani tradition, we have no doubt that to be born a human being is a wonderful thing. It's a pinnacle of many, many lifetimes of endeavour and evolution. So for us, human beings in their natural form are great, and the vast majority of people are good. And so I think as these instances occur, our community gets an opportunity to remind the majority everywhere we are of what our reality is.
I've been coming to India for more than 50 years.
Yes.
So,
This time around,
in
yeah.
the homeland, I've spent quite a bit of time here, learning of all the knowledge systems, the Vedic knowledge systems, whether it's all the paths of yoga, Vedanta, Ayurveda, Jyotish, etc., Vastu, are the most profound, transcendent. And the art, India has the greatest art in the world. What country has this amount of sculpture?
Yeah.
The architecture and all the paintings and all the dance, the music, the color, the festival. It's a cultural paradise.
Engaging conversation. Thank you very, very much for your time. It's been phenomenal, and I hope our viewers have enjoyed it too. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank
Maybe
you.
wish everybody a happy Holi.
Yes, please,
We are
please,
here
please.
to enjoy Holi.
No colors here, but the colors of our culture,
Yeah.
I hope, has come out from the wise words and wisdom that's come through from Acharya David Frawley and, of course, Pandit Satish Sharma. Thank you so
The
much.
colors of
Jai Shri Ram.
Ananda. Let us embrace the Ananda. That is the supreme color.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we play out the full conversation on the 8th of March, on the day of Holi. It's also International Women's Day, so we've got something very special lined up for you on that occasion too, here on The Right Stand. For the moment, calling it a wrap. Stay with us after the break. It's Brass Tacks.
Minister, he said China is much more powerful than us. If China is much more powerful than us, how can I pick a fight with them? Matlab, at the heart of the ideology is cowardice. Same happens in Parliament House. When there are important things that we need to speak about, demonetization, GST, the fact that the Chinese are sitting inside our territory, when we try to raise these questions, we're not allowed to raise them in the House. It's a fact. It's shameful, but it's true.
Our senior editor Pallavi Ghosh is joining live on this story. Pallavi, so now Rahul Gandhi has sought intervention from the US and Britain to intervene to restore Indian democracy. Can you tell us more about this?
So this was at a press conference which he did around a few days back, in I think day before on Saturday, where he made the point that he was actually also talking in the context of the BBC documentary, and he said that if the BBC had remained silent, then perhaps this kind of an investigation would not have taken place at their offices in Delhi and Mumbai. And that also explains why big countries in Europe and America are largely silent over what's happening in India, because there's money concerned, there are trade ties, and their trade and monetary benefits which accrues to these countries, which is why they prefer to remain silent. Of course, as expected, the BJP is of course taking a huge objection to it. And it's a borderline comment on the foreign policy of India. We'll have to wait to see that when the parliament session begins on 13th of March, whether the BJP is actually going to make this a big issue and whether they're going to try and move a notice against Rahul Gandhi. Because when it comes to foreign policy issues, it's also a very nuanced and careful line which one has to take.
By the way, also Rahul also made a big claim that Jai Shankar, External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar, does not understand the threat by the Chinese at the LAC.
What Jai Shankar had said at a press conference and during an interaction was that we also have to keep in mind that China has huge amount of money, nuclear material at their disposal. So India's retaliation has to be more nuanced and very, very careful. That is now being used by the BJP and by the Congress party and Rahul Gandhi to make the point that you're basically, the grain of India's foreign policy is based on cowardice. Cowards talk like that. You're scared of people who are more powerful than you. And this is a kind of a bizarre response coming in from the foreign minister to